Hi everybody, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is Easter Sunday, so for those who observe that, happy Easter. I know we're in the midst of Passover, so happy Passover or happy Pesach to you and yours. Um, for those who have observed that, Aster has already come and gone, I'm pretty sure. My planner only, I think, has basically the Jewish and Christian holidays in it. It may have others, but those are the ones that are currently on my calendar. So, how's everybody? Good. I'm coming to you early. We've got a lot going on today, so this was about the only time I was going to be able to sneak this in. So it'll probably be quick. Maybe not as short as last week because I've got some more Q&A than I did last week. My hair's a mess. I have to go clothes shopping. Anyhow, let's dive on in. So the first question comes from the always divine and wonderful Julicious, who I miss you too, but I also know you are redonkulously busy right now, and I'm so happy that things are going well, though. Asking about the cardigan du jour. It is actually not hand knit. It's actually it's not going to show up on here. It's actually a No Boundaries, which is one of the Walmart brands. I bought it 2 years ago at Christmas time, and it is very cozy. I really do love this thing. And thank you for the compliment on the nails. They have not held up at all. I need to take the polish off. That's probably gonna be what I do after this video. But yes, I miss you too. Sarah R asks, first says, you're welcome for Stitching Book Club as a recommendation. I really do love her stuff. She did ask, said that she noticed that I changed my umbrella for Mr. Tumnus and wondered why. And quite simply, I changed it because I wanted it to be a little more umbrella-like than I felt like the design was, and I wanted it a little more over his head than I thought it was. So that's why I made that change. I know she said she darkened Mr. Thomas's skin, because in the book he's described as having reddish-brown skin and black fur. And I almost did that, but I stopped myself for two reasons. One, I was afraid it would throw off the color balance too much to make that much of a change. For another, I always have trouble when I'm trying to shade things that are black without it looking too pixelated. So that was why I went with just what she had designed color-wise. Deborah Dixon asks, do you take stitching with you on vacation? And if you do, how many projects do you take? Well, to be fair, I have not been on a vacation since 2018. And I think I took 3 with me for that one. When we went to visit, when my in-laws, before my father-in-law passed, still lived in San Antonio, I think I took 2 and kind of traded back and forth between them. And I think I took 2 as well when we went down to see her before she moved back up here after he passed. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I probably take 2 just so I have something to trade back and forth with. But yeah, I usually do take something. If I think I'm going to have the time. Because I don't always. That's okay. If we do a car trip, I can't stitch in the car, so that I probably wouldn't, but... Kirby Jane asks, what is the oldest pattern you own that you have not started yet? So, my curiosity comes, we're going to go with two different things. One of which I did not grab because it's going to be too impossible to... I know where it's at, but I will answer the second question with that. The oldest thing that I own that I have not started, in terms of like from when I bought it myself when I first started stitching, is probably one of the Thomas Kincaid Disney Dreams kits, because I bought a bunch of those when I first started. So in terms of oldest that I purchased for myself. Now, in terms of oldest as in, like, when was it created? That's going to be... Oh, it's in here. Oh, yep, no, here it is. Fantasy Sampler from Teresa Winsler. I think it's my oldest. There may be one or two in, like, some of the 80s cross-stitch magazines for things that I bought with the intent to stitch. Now, I have one, like, older, like, 70s Dover book that has some Wizard of Oz designs in it that I got simply because it had Oz designs, but I don't like them well enough I'd ever stitch them, so I'm not going to qualify that because I bought it knowing it wouldn't be stitched. This one is from 91, so probably a couple of the magazine ones may be a little bit older, but definitely this is the one I laid my hands on the easiest. Fantasy Sampler from Teresa Winsler would be the oldest. Yes, I do plan to stitch it still. Actually, I didn't even buy this. This was a gift from a friend. But, age-wise, it's technically the oldest. The Disney Dreams, no. I won't stitch those. I don't enjoy full coverage. Just plain and simple. I don't enjoy it, so, yeah, not going to be stitching those. But I do plan to do the Teresa Winsler. One of the things I noticed, and this is always a good question, I don't necessarily think it's a taste change situation. I think it's a finding your stitching preferences more than anything. Because I still like the look of the Disney Dreams. I just don't enjoy stitching full coverage, so I'm not going to do it to myself. When you start out as a stitcher, you don't really know what you like other than to look at the pattern until you start stitching. And along the way you discover, you know what? I don't enjoy this. And that's the same with designers. There are a few designers that I love the way their patterns look, but I have started 2 or 3 of their designs and just gotten bored and not enjoyed it. It's nothing against the designer, because I still like the finished product. I just don't enjoy stitching it to get to the finished product. So, I don't think it's so much taste changing, so much as stitching preference and style. And I do apologize, it's very overcast today. And my ring light, I discovered, has just died. It was cheap, it was like $5. I'm not surprised it's dead already. But it's dead. So, please forgive me. Laura Gacinas asks an interesting question. She says, would you ever think of stitching a rostro for your chicken? Or, for my kitchen. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by roster. However, as much as I do love a lot of kitchen and kitchen-themed designs, my kitchen is, here at least, is kind of galley style. So there'd be nowhere, and there's not really a good spot to hang things there. So if I were going to do anything kitchen themed, it would almost need to go into the dining room. And unfortunately, as well in that regard, our dining room is not, is small. I mean, it fits our table and chairs, and then we've got a bookshelf, because we've got plenty of that, and another, like, small little, like, table that my cookbooks are in. Notice there's really not a lot of space, and there's really not a lot of wall space either. because there's one big window. So most of the kitchen-y things that I'm going to stitch that I've got, because there's several that I do have, won't really go there. And I have a tile backsplash, so there'd be no way to hang anything, and it's fairly narrow. If we ever built a house, or if I got a house where I had more physical room, then it's much more possible that might be a thing. All right. No haul this week. However, we do have stitching to go over, so we're going to start with that. In no particular order, it's just going to be whatever I lay my hands on first. So, what did I work on this week? Well, I worked on Haunted House on Friday. This is the one from Bent Creek. So my goal this month was half of the second room, which I achieved. I converted the little chef into Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And I gave her the pink apron because she's cooking, and there's the scene in the movie where she cooks. So there she is. I'm actually really pleased with how she turned out. And it's on a Fortnite fabric that I'm not sure what is. I'm just going to show you all the full picture of it. Where did that piece of the puzzle go? Here we go. Nope. That's the third piece. So I was looking at the second one first. There we go. So there it is. So I've still got the cauldron, the shelf, and the cat. So that'll be what I do next month. And then after that, it's just these cute little ghosties. Which these, I think, honestly, I will probably just do all in 1 month. I think that's going to be easy enough to do. So... I worked on Wicked Siblings. Oh, and that reminds me. So someone in a group posted about these welly Band-Aids and how the canisters are great for storing floss, and they are. You take the Band-Aids out, obviously, but it holds. This one's got, I think, just shy of 24 colors in it. So I think it would probably safely, you could probably get maybe another couple bobbins in there. You do have to lay them on their side, but it works really nicely. So thanks to the person who posted about that in whatever group that was that I saw it in. I worked on Wicked Siblings. This was my other WIPGO goal for the month, and it has been achieved. It was 500 stitches, and I got my goal. So I did basically all these leaves and the mushrooms. So basically everything from those two up here. This is again on another one-off by Fortnite. So next month I will start up this side. Alright, then I didn't do as much on Pride and Prejudice this week. I did only about half of the 500 stitches I had planned to do, but one of the pieces I worked on took me longer than I thought it would, and I really wanted to go ahead and get it done. So I sacrificed Pride and Prejudice this week, but I did at least finish up the top of the flower vase. So this week I'm going to work on this. I have kind of determined that with my regular work schedule, and then once we're back in office, I'm probably going to have to drop to doing 50 stitches a day instead of 100. Because it just eats a little too much into my day trying to do 100 on it. So we're going to drop down to doing 50 stitches a day. So it won't get quite as fast a progress on this one as I originally wanted. But I may also start working on it on Friday nights, just to give it a little more attention during the week. I'm kind of working backwards through my week here. So the one that took longer than I anticipated it would was Summer Patchwork by Susan Bates. But I did get my goal, which was to do the birdhouse and the cherries. So here we go. There it is. We'll go in a little closer. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. So next month, my plan, these three are all really small, so I think they'll probably get done together. This one's a fairly involved one, so probably this one next month, and then these three all together to finish. So probably a June finish. Have a June finish probably on Haunted House as well. Alright. And then we've got my Hige, which I did finish on Sunday last week. Alright, this is by New Leaf Crafts. So there it is. There is my bird holding the little thing and the message in the bottle and the netting. So I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I'm really hoping I left myself enough space to finish these the way I want to finish them, but if I didn't, I will come up with another plan for finishing them. Yes. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 done. So, getting there. Almost 2/3. So next month's is going to be a significantly easier. In fact, I think I'm done now with all of the really wild, crazy additional stitching things on it. I think it's mostly straightforward from here. All right, so that's what I worked on this week. So what am I going to work on? Or last week. What am I going to work on this week? Well, I'm glad you asked. So this week's prompts are something with roses, something with rain, shower, or cold, and our least favorite, second least favorite whip. So for the first two, because I'm going to penalty stitch, because I really don't have anything that said rain or cold to it, is going to be the Satsuma Street Alice. I didn't bring my tablet in, I'm sorry, so here's where I'm at. So I'm just going to go for the finish this week on the Red Queen, Queen of Hearts, however you wish to refer to her. Which should be good. I'm looking forward to that. And then second least favorite whip, it's not really my second. It was hard to figure out what was my least favorite. I think in this case it's which one do I sometimes look forward to the least. And that is Inspiration. So my goal this month is going to be to finish out the top 2 pages, the border and back stitch on them. Which should be fairly simple and straightforward to do. Now, I do have a question out there for those of you, here's this, who use the anchor spools, because I really freaking hate these spools. Here's the pattern, by the way, or where I'm at. So, finish out and drop down. Okay, so I really hate these damn spools. Has anybody just unwound off of the spool and onto a bobbin? I'm not really sure. There's 10 meters. DMC is usually an 8 meters, so it's not that much more, but I don't know if that would be too much more, if that makes any kind of sense. So, I don't know. If anyone out there has tried that, or has better recommendations on how to use up a freaking partial spool, because what I've started doing is not something I'm enjoying doing either with it, which is cut off what I need, the one strand I need, so that I can wind it back on. But I really don't like doing that either. So, if anybody has any thoughts, or suggestions, or tips, I certainly welcome all of them. Just give them straight up to me. I will love you forever. I'd probably love you forever anyways, but, you know. Alright, so that's it for me. I will see you all next week. I hope you all have a great day.